Hello, hello, hello. This is Russell's Rants, where we rant about movies, music, and pop culture and games and everything. So, what are we ranting about today? Well, it is going to be the Hunger Games. Uh, I did a little one on the new Hunger Games movie that is in theaters now. But so I decided that I'm going to do the whole series. And last night I watched uh, the first Hunger Games movie, and so I'm gonna rant about it. And yeah, so I'm gonna start off by ranting by Prim's Nightmare. Way to foreshadow what's going to happen. Too bad you didn't see your sister volunteering. I I feel bad for her because that would be nightmarish. Uh, but at the same time, it's like the foreshadowing of it is amazing. But yeah, that's all I really have to do. I have to say. Um, so the next thing is gonna be like the deer that Katniss is hunting. It's like known that hunting's illegal and stuff like that. Even though they do like turn a blind eye to it in the series and especially in District 12 and like in this whole movie, they just turn a blind side to hunting's illegal. Like we know it's illegal. It says in the book that it's illegal, but in the movie, it's just like not there. I mean, they bring up hunting like all the time. Bring it up when they're talking about like the victors in the. I think they even ask Rue at one point if she's can hunt. Um, so I don't understand like where that's coming from, especially like if you read the books, you know that like it's illegal and that that's probably not something they should keep on bringing up. Um, and but this isn't really a rant, but the one like Effie, love her. She is like her little quips and everything like that. Uh, the way she is like the best part of the whole movie for me. Um, then when like Katniss is and Gale are talking about running off into the woods with their family, and Katniss is like, Prim in the woods. Like, could you imagine that? I was like, have you seen District 12? She would probably be better off in the woods than there, like where they're starving all the time. Um, oh, and this goes back to the deer, because Katniss said that was the first deer she had seen in a year. If there was no hunting, there is no way that's the only deer you've seen in a whole year, especially in the area that you're at. Like, I hunt all the time, especially deer hunting. It's like, it's, and they're like 100-pound deer. That deer dressed, like field dressed in like the meat cut off of it, like, would maybe be 50 pounds. And that's like if they take every little bit of it. So, uh, like, and that's just a little rant from the fact that I hunt and stuff like that. Um, Another thing is that they dress up for the reaping. Like, bitch, I I may not even take a shower for a week before the reaping. You're gonna take me off to fight for my death. You're gonna get me at my like skankiest, nasty, stinking ass. Um, and excuse the coughing. I've had this cough for like a month. Ever since I went to California, and so little sidetrack there. And then another thing, like in the book, the Mockingjay pin that they give you or that they talk about is solid gold, and you're gonna take it to the Hunger Games, like. And I know in the book that it's given to Katniss, uh, by the mayor's daughter, who she's friends with. But at the same time, it's solid gold. Give it to your mom or your sister or Gail and have them sell that thing. Get them some food. Like, really. It's like, oh, you're poor, your family needs food. Here's a solid gold pin that is probably worth more than what you'll make being in the mines. And uh but yeah, like, just sell that son of a bitch. um Now on, like, at the reaping and stuff, she did a very brave thing, I'll say, like volunteering for her sister. And I know, like, this is a post-apocalyptic world, like after nuclear fallout and stuff, but I'm sorry, as somebody that has a brother and a sister and then step siblings on top of it, if they were all in the reaping and one of them was like my little brother or my stepbrother would, like, their name got pulled out of that, I'd be like, no, fuck you, I volunteer. I mean, so I don't, I like, these families don't care that much about each other, so why is it such a big deal that you're sending them off to, you know? But I mean, it's a different time, so I mean, who knows? Um, and I will say, Gale, hate him, hate him. Uh, Liam Hemsworth, fucking gorgeous, but hate Gale. Um, I don't think I liked him from the very, like, the so I watched the first Hunger Games movie in theaters back when it first came out, and it got me into the books. So I read the books and stuff too, but, like, I don't think I liked Gale from the moment I, like, saw his character. From from, like, chasing off the deer and stuff, which I will say this about the hunting. Like, she checks the wind and stuff with the leaves. It's like, obviously the deer knows you're there, which shows that nobody goes hunting because the deer just stood there. Anybody that's been hunting and, like, a deer smells your scent more than one, and, like, you stay there that long, they're gonna blow at you and stomp and eventually run. This deer, like, stayed there, so it's obviously not been around the human scent very often, which should have made it run even faster. But um, and I'm sorry about this coughing. Uh, Hopefully it goes away soon. Um, but Hamage in this movie, I can't say I liked him very much. He definitely grows on you as the movie goes, but when they're on the train and Pete is asking him questions about the games, and he tries to take away the liquor, and Hamage puts his foot on his chest with those grippers, like, get those sons of bitches out of my face. I mean, I may be into some, but get those feet out of my damn face. Um, Now, but like, he definitely grows on you throughout the whole series and that first movie and book. Um, but, like, another character that I just love is Rue. Like, Rue is like that little sister that everybody, like, has and wants. She's sweet and kind of funny, like, especially when she steals the knife. Um, the I haven't talked much about PETA, and I will here shortly. But yeah. Oh, okay, so this right here, this pisses me off. The We hear about how, like, the Capitol will do stuff to your family and, like, your friends and stuff if you, like, are insubordinate and, like, show them up and, like, stuff like that. When Katniss shoots that arrow or shoots the apple with the arrow close to their head and stuff, that was not the reaction that we are made to believe that the Capitol would have. Like the plot armor, like the main character armor that Katniss has is so strong. Like we see where Haymitch in his games, he's like jumping on the force field and like bouncing back up and like playing around, and his whole family gets killed. Katniss shoots an arrow at the game makers and nothing. Like she gets a good score. Um, and then Haymitch like making light of the whole thing, like, "Oh, way to go, sweetheart." Him out of all people should be like, "No, you don't understand. They can do something. Like they will do something to your family." I mean, because look what happened to him. But they literally did nothing and like made light out of it, and then they were like, "Oh, you get an 11 on your score so you can get higher." I was like, okay, things aren't adding up here. Um and then like during the interviews and like the first like the 2 weeks before the games when they're like doing all this stuff with the victors and stuff like that, it seems like everybody forgets about PETA. Like Katniss, the girl on fire. I'm sorry, PETA was on fire too, and like he looked way better, and obviously the smarter one of the two. Like by giving him a show through the parade. Um, but like that brings me to PETA. PETA is like a special sweet little cupcake that needs to be protected at all costs. Like, and yes, I'm using the cupcake reference as because he is a like from the family of bakers. Um, but like he's the smart one. He's the one that is like the crowd pleaser and stuff. What is Katniss was, oh, she's pretty. I mean, I guess pretty privilege is a thing in these books and movies. Um like PETA should have been uh like if anything, I think he does more to start the rebellion than what Katniss does, because he starts the love story, which for him is not a story. Like he actually cares about her, uh, and Katniss is like, oh, it's just a story. Um, I'm gonna make everybody believe it, even PETA, and then at the end of the movie, we're just gonna forget. I mean, like, what is the one thing that the they can't say that volunteering is an act of rebellion when they literally have like 3 districts where people volunteered because that's their whole thing. That's the whole stick is to volunteer at age 17. They're trained to do so. Which don't even get me started on the training thing because we know that the Capitol like turns a blind eye of it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, and like even in the games, like PETA protects Katniss. Like Katniss should have died. Like, let's be real. Katniss should have been from the very beginning. Like, the plot armor and like main character armor of Katniss is so strong. Um, in the games, like she's using that like obviously it's a bigger knife, but it's that saw on it would not have cut that branch near as fast as what she would have needed to not be stung multiple times. Like especially when it starts like the weight of the uh hive is like pulling down on the branch and it's getting less and less sturdy. Like they would have came out and attacked her like I mean let's be real. Anybody that's seen like a wasp nest or a hornet's nest, anything like a yellow jacket's nest in your yard, like you disturb them any little bit, they're out like getting ready to sting your ass. Um, so that made like no sense. I know she got stung, but at the same time, it's like, hmm, well, if you weren't the main character, you'd have died. Um, and then for the fact that like the tracker jackers are like their hive breaks down at the bottom of the tree, but then when she gets down there, they're gone. Like there's none. Yeah, and I'm sorry, there's going to be some left there. Um, and like precious little Rue, like I'm sorry, I just love her. She takes care of Katniss, and like she's out for 2 days. Um, and what happened to Rue is just awful. Like Rue should have won. I'm sorry, Rue should have won. Katniss should have helped her. Should have taken that spear to the chest. Not Rue. I mean, and oh, and that's another thing. Like obviously Katniss is superhuman because she moves faster than what like not as fast as District Two's little girl who dodges a freaking arrow. Like that makes no sense at all. Those arrows are not going at a slow pace, and I don't care how small and how much you've trained. If your reaction time is so fast that you dodge an arrow, like my whole system just it's like shuts down. Like, no, you didn't. You did not do that. You're like, what kind of superhuman shit did they do to you in your district to make it to where you can dodge an arrow? And since you can do it, why can't Gato do it? Why can't I mean and then Katniss dodges that spear from the District 1 uh, boy that throws like and I mean like she turns around and like dodges it. Her reaction time, it's like it doesn't add up. Like she moved, knocked an arrow, and shot him in the same time it took him to throw the spear. That makes no sense. Like, come on. um, but then everybody's like, "Oh, Katniss defied the Capitol by like going to eat the berries." No, she didn't. They just called her. They should have called her bluff. Like through the whole thing, Katniss has like whole point of the games is for her to win and get back to her family and like Prim and Gale and stuff because she has to take care of them. So why she is not? She would have let Peeta die. I'm sorry that they should have just called her bluff. Um, which goes back to this point. Like she, her act of defiance to the Capitol had no repercussions from the Capitol on her family and her friends and stuff like that. Like they tell us that they do. Like it's made to a point. You can't do that because they're going to do this to your family, and yet nothing. Like nothing at all. um, I mean, I know it's explored a little more in the next book, but at the same time, it's like, she doesn't do anything in the second book that's half as bad as what um she does in the first book, and like there's more repercussions for it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Um, but all in all, if you know me, I love the Hunger Games movies and the books, and like the new one is amazing. Um, and I will say, like PETA, protect that special little snowflake with everything. Like honestly, he should be the symbol of the rebellion. Um, maybe not the like PETA's the show like the one that can put on a show. Katniss is like um and doesn't do anything really that rebellious. I mean, she builds the flowers and stuff for Rue and puts up like the three finger mark where she's like and stuff. But really, that's not that rebellious. I mean, especially after like the new Hunger Games, we see that people have laid out like graves and stuff for the fallen victors. Uh, we see that in like that movie. So like that's not that obviously that's happened before, and really that it would have been worse in that movie, seeing as they used the flag to cover the dead bodies. Um, and then like the berries, like I said, they should have just called her bluff. Worst off, they would have got rid of both of them. Um, but I sincerely think that Katniss would have let Peeta die, even though like Peeta has essentially like helped her even before the games with the bread and stuff like that. That's why like he's just a sweetheart. Like he took his mother's punishment, like being smacked around and stuff, for Katniss, and like what'd Katniss do? Nothing. Nothing at all. Like, but all in all, they both won. It was a great movie. Love it. I'm just ranting because, I mean, who cares? The movie's been out for a while, and I think it's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, like, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy it, I'm gonna continue to do the Hunger Games series until part two of Mockingjay, and I'll do like a more in-depth rant about the new movie when it comes out. So if you did enjoy this, please like, share, sub if you want to. But thanks for watching. Have a good one, and peace.